Hey horror fans, once again it is me, the Horror Miser Mani G. It's time to review another horror movie. It's time to review the horror thriller film See For Me. Now, See For Me is a 2021 Canadian horror thriller film and was directed by Randall Otika. The film was written by Adam York and Tommy Gunshoe. The film stars Skylar Davenport, Jessica Parker Kennedy, Laura Vanderroop, and Kim Coates. Now, in this film, when blind former skier Sophie Cathits at a secluded mansion, three thieves invade for a hidden safe. Sophie's only defense is Army veteran Kelly, who helps Sophie defend herself against the invaders to survive. Now, we've seen plenty of smartphone apps that have become very helpful in our lives. Now, we have apps that help us navigate in places we've never been before, translate foreign languages such as Spanish and French, and communicate with family members across the globe. We have FaceTime with family members, especially those who serve into the military. We can be in Germany and we can FaceTime somebody all the way in California, or we can have somebody that's FaceTiming in Japan. Yes, welcome to the 21st century, everyone. Now, of course, it's no surprise that filmmakers have created horror thriller films where the app is the main focus of the story, such as the horror film Countdown. So, Canadian film director Randall Otika throws his latest film into this subject matter, a thriller called See For Me. Now, we're introduced to Sophie Scott, a former would-be Olympic skater whose dreams are dashed when she is diagnosed with a degenerative eye disease that makes her blind. Now, to make ends meet, she house sits for wealthy clients, and she takes a job to cat sit for a rich woman named Deborah, who lives in upstate New York while Deborah is taking vacation after divorcing her husband. Later that night, Sophie is awakened by three thieves who are there to break into the hidden safe and steal the $7 million hidden in there. She loads up an app called See For Me. It is an app that is used to help visually impaired people contact a person to help them see things around their surroundings, and she speaks to a woman named Kelly, and they have to work together to find a way for Sophie to survive this dreadful night. I like how the film starts, and it shows how Sophie is dealing with her handicap. Now, despite her mom's best efforts, we see that Sophie wants to be independent and doesn't want anyone to help her or accept their pity. They have this really agnostic relationship we see at the beginning of the film. Later on, towards the end of the first act, we also get to see the struggle that Sophie has when she has to use the See For Me app to get out of the jam, and she and Kelly, the volunteer for the app that Sophie is speaking to, which is very compelling. I like the back and forth that they get into it. Sophie's struggling and trying to do what she thinks she can do on her own, and Kelly's trying to get her to do the right thing so she can get out of the jam that she's in. I thought that scene was decent. Their personalities clashed at first, which wouldn't surprise anyone, but there is respect between them because when Sophie confronts the thieves, she needs to depend on Kelly helping her out of that situation. There's mutual respect between the two of them, but eventually when the thieves break in and when Sophie eventually calls the app, she wants to speak to Kelly because she knows Kelly can help her. This dramatic reminds me of the 2013 thriller The Call and the 2004 thriller film Cellular, where the caller and the listener have to work together in order to survive their encounters with bad people. As we know in the 2013 film The Call, we have Hal Berry helping out, I forget the name, I think it was Abigail Bounson, who was kidnapped by a serial killer, and she has to help her get through her ordeal. And in Cellular, we have Chris Evans, before he became known as Captain America, is trying to help Kim Basinger out of her situations when she's kidnapped by thugs led by Jason Statham. Now, both Skylar Davenport and Jessica Parker Kennedy are great in their roles, and they have the right type of chemistry needed for a film like this. The back and forth between the two ladies is what you needed in this particular film. You believe both their roles. Both the women are very great actors in this particular film, and they do a good job on it, and they do a good job displaying those traits that they have. Now, Randall also does a great job in creating around the right amount of tension and suspense, despite the cliche setting that we've seen in other films with the similar setup. Hush comes to mind in this particular one right here, but Randall does a good job as well. One of the other things I like the fact is we get to spend a lot of time with Sophie as she explores the mansion, as she and the audience needs to get familiar with her surroundings, and it will become a factor as the film continues. Because, obviously being a blind person, it makes sense for her to familiarize herself with the surroundings, where the steps are, how far does she have to walk, where the steps are. She's aided by a friend of hers named Cam, which is pretty interesting in that particular setup, and I like how they make sure that she explores the whole house, because eventually when it comes time to evade the bad guys, that familiarity with the house comes into play. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this film is Sophie. As the film progresses, she becomes a less likable character. Now, the one thing you need in a film in this setting is that the lead character should be likable enough so that the audience will start pulling for them to survive the situation that the character is in. Now, while I believe that screenwriters Adam York and Tommy Gunn should try to make Sophie a morally compromised character, it kind of doesn't fit this type of setup, especially during the second act of the film. Now, if they want to play her as a kind of an unmorally character, like, say, Stephen Lang's character in the Don't Breathe 2 movies, because he was a real bad guy in the first Don't Breathe. So in this one, we see that he's somewhat of an anti-hero, but you don't see that in Sophie. She's not an anti-hero, but some of the decisions that they make her to be doesn't fit this particular type of character, and kind of makes it, kind of pulls the audience out for her trying to survive the situation. However, I'll still give Skylar Davenport credit, as she does a good job of playing the blind character, giving Sophie the right amount of strength and drive she needs to survive the night. Jessica Parker Kennedy, known for playing Nora West Ellen XS on the Flash TV show on the CW, gives Kelly the strength, toughness, and determination to help Sophie. We find out that she was a Army veteran from the Iraq War, and we can see those strengths play into helping Sophie survive, especially the fact that she's blind. Of course, veteran character actor Kim Coates is great as Rico, the leader of the thieves, whose motivation for breaking into mansion, while cliched, are believable. So despite some character flaws with Sophie, this is a decent thriller with some nice acting between the two female leads. It's an isolating setting and enough danger to keep the audience on its toes. So I'm going to give C for me. I'm going to give it 2.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. 2.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. My only knock on the film is that, you really can't make a person who you're supposed to care about somewhat morally questionable, because it does take away some of the aspects of making her a decent character you want to survive, but yet you decide to throw in that little tidbit in the film. Kind of takes away the presence of we want her to survive, but then you make her morally questionable. Would have been better if she was already a morally questionable person, or someone of an anti-hero person, just like the Stephen Lang character in the Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2 films. That would make better sense as opposed to what they tried to do here. So only 2.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. So there you have it. That is my video for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share. If you have seen C for me, tell me what you thought about the film in the comment section below. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. And I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.